This dude named TJ reached out to me on Twitter, and he asked a very simple question. He was like, do you want to highlight the Bitcoin skeptics, the people, or do you want to highlight when they made the statements that they made? And I was like, you're right, man. You know, the price chart, while it makes sense to show all the data, it doesn't really hit you in any type of way, because you're not really being shown the scale or the magnitude, like what they missed out on by being a Bitcoin bear. So I got to give a quick shout out to TJ there. There's two directions I think I can go with this. One is just like having a graph. It's like an open source database, right? That just shows information for the sake of showing information, because it's useful, because people will find it entertaining, whatever. That's one direction I can take. The other direction is to like have a narrative. It's like I have some information, but I really want to make a point, right? I want to make a point that Bitcoin skeptics are wrong, that Bitcoin bears are dumb, you know, whatever the point is. That's the problem that I had, where like I was showing information, but I also kind of want to have a narrative. And because I wasn't committing to either side, the thing that I built just didn't make sense.
So I was talking to my friend Rahun about this idea, and he just took it and ran with it. He just built something in like a week.
Go to bitcoinorshit.com, and it's this calculator. Click this button. It randomizes items. It tells you how much you paid for these items would be worth in Bitcoin today if you bought Bitcoin instead. He launched it yesterday. It's going viral on Twitter right now. Like, fucking love it.
The way that he built it, super smart. The way that he launched it, super smart. The way that he's like still just taking advantage of his internet clout. Like, love you, Rahun. Keep it up, bro.
But my idea is like less of an instant reaction. You got to click around on the graph. You got to be like, oh, I've heard of that name before. He said what, or she said what, on what date? And so I think it would be smarter if I went, not the quick kind of narrative driven app, but I went completely the other way, which is I just want to be informative. I want people who visit my thing to not be like hit with some instantaneous, you know, instinctive reaction, but actually like spend time reading, learning about, you know, in a way, a piece of Bitcoin history. Like, I'm going to try to go in that direction. Saw this thing on Twitter the other day, and it just measures the average happiness levels on Twitter every day. It's very scientific how they went about measuring happiness and building this thing. Frequently asked questions. It's got instructions. I think this is the direction that I kind of want to take the Bitcoin Skeptics project. So I'm thinking about how to apply this to my thing. First step is probably just to remove all the fucking fluff. So this hero section, just gone, right? The freezing cold takes, gone. Click on the Bitcoin to get $10, gone. It's just going to be this graph here. And I'm going to add more information, link it to more helpful resources to learn about blockchain technology, what Bitcoin is, how it works, how do you buy it, how do you send it, how do you store it. Like, you know, all this stuff is like a part of Bitcoin history. People who are bullish on it, people who are bearish on it, they all come together to tell the story of something that is obviously growing. By tracking these skeptics, I think that's playing a role in telling the story of Bitcoin. So I think if I do that, and I do that successfully, that is the way.